What's going on, guys? Hope y'all are having an awesome weekend. This is Rex over here coming at you live on August 26, 2018. It's a little bit late. It's actually really the 25th for this, but technically it is the 26th because it is 12:19 in the morning here. I got a little late to start today. Sorry I missed y'all guys yesterday. I had a little party night, so missed the stream action. That's okay. Sometimes it's good to go get loose on a Friday, right? But yeah, so we finally did it. We broke the 6,600 on a daily. We've been waiting for that. We've been holding above it so far, but go ahead and switch this before I forget. We have been seeing some selling pressure in the last few hours, so we'll get into that here in a second. We're going to start off with a few news articles. Iran has a state-backed crypto draft ready, and their central bank is going to announce their stance on crypto by the end of September, right here. That's pretty sweet. I'm very curious to hear what they say about that. I'm sure they won't be banning it or anything like that, especially since they have confirmed that they will be creating their own state-issued token to, guess what? Just like we talked about Venezuela, guys. I was literally talking about that. They were the first. We're going to start seeing this across the board. Lots of countries are going to pilot this. This is just the beginning. But they cite the same thing to help avoid upcoming U.S. sanctions, as well as to facilitate the transfer of money to and from anywhere in the world. That is pretty awesome utility. Not that you can't do that now. Of course you can. You can PayPal somebody. The fees are pretty high, though, for that. Or you can wire somebody. Those would probably be the faster ones. Of course, ACH as well, but that takes a while. And, you know, just sending money across borders is not very efficient at the moment. So, yeah, pretty awesome national digital currency project. Straight from President of Iran himself, Hassan Rouhani. So, yeah, guys, people aren't liking what the banks are doing, and most of that stems from New York and in the U.S., in the UK. So yeah, but we are the ones that are a little bit meaner on like sanctions, and we've been threatening them as well if they didn't comply. There's another article here that is attached to it, that if they don't pretty much comply by stuff, then they're going to roll out more sanctions in November. Yeah, guys, like we've been talking about currency stuff, it's getting a little wild out there. I think currency crises are a Bitcoin's best friend, though. I'm pretty sure that's the saying. Alright, why some bulls expect Bitcoin to fall below 5 prior to a big rally. So Shapeshift CEO, Mr. Eric Voorhees, and cryptocurrency investor Anthony Papagliano, or Pomp, echoed Arthur Hayes, that's the CEO of BitMEX. He said in May, if y'all remember, he's like, the price is going down to the 5,000 before initiating a 2017-esque rally. Those guys are agreeing, Voorhees and Pomp. So they said it's not over just yet. Do they know something that we don't? No, probably not. Nobody really knows anything, guys. CNBC crypto trader, hosted by Ran Noor, Voorhees had some comments. He said, I don't expect it to end soon, although I do think that the rate of collapse has slowed considerably. Generally in these bubbles, after you go through several months of a downtrend, you hang out in a range for a while. But I think we're done with the majority of the collapse. Maybe. He's kind of thinking that we're done-ish here. Pomp, actually, he says later down here, Pomp isn't as optimistic. He says, we're going to 3K. That's what he's thinking. That's pretty... It could be. He said the final data outputs, I guess, of simulations and stuff he ran, or whatever kind of analysis he put on. He said the most notable one is that we are likely to see Bitcoin near 3K before we see 10. This is true. It means we still have 50% downside risk. Ugh, and it could get really, really ugly, and it would. I've talked about sub 4,000 for sure. I've said that this is either the low here, or we will be going down to the 3-ish range. I do agree with that. But this could be it too, in this range. So it's kind of our little floor. If it does break below these levels, as we've discussed in other videos, it's very likely to hit that, and possibly even like flash crash, like really crazy, where it does like, goes to like sub 2,000. Man, can y'all imagine what alts would look like if that happened? That would be brutal. That would be definite capitulation, because I guarantee you some YouTubers would quit, and a lot of people would leave this space, and it'd be so burnt out. So yeah, this author also says in the previous 80% corrections and rallies in 2012, 14, and 17, Bitcoin has traditionally required a period of stability before initiating a large rally to the upside. Yeah, you know, that's kind of, most things are like that. But Bitcoin's really tiny. A lot of people want to get into this kind of stuff. Countries, they're making their own tokens. Eventually they'll probably be like, man, we should just build onto Bitcoin and use it. Wonder if that'll happen. I don't know. Here's a little side note, a trending article I just saw. Google searches for Bitcoin price sink to 3-year low. Ooh. Let's just go on the fly click over there, see if they have a graph. Yep, look at that, guys. It's pretty rough. No one cares. It's dead. Here you go, the curious case of HODL and Rec doing the same thing. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that. Alright, anyway. CNBC, I just stumbled on this tweet. You might have already seen it, maybe not. Is it an indicator? Does it mean we need to get short or long? I don't know yet. It's boom or bust. But that's coming out Monday evening, 6 p.m. Eastern time, New York time. So, might be interesting. I'll probably check it out just to see the sentiment of the video, the timing of it. I will say, it's very interesting. What if they get really bullish, start getting everybody excited again? Because you know they have that power. Alright, this is something like, what the hell is this? Something I just wanted to talk about for a quick second, of risk management. It's one of the most important things you need to know in trading. If you don't get this down, you will never make money in the long run. Ever. So, this chart's a really basic chart of a percent loss you take, and then just to the right of it, the percent gain after said loss that you need to get it back to your principal amount, to be even. And so, and I wanted to show this, especially because lots of altcoins and stuff are down 95%, right? And for some reason in crypto, everybody has jumped on the HODL train. Now, HODLing might work in the long run, possibly, and it has for some people, but most of those people bought a long time ago. The masses are not in that kind of, they're not in that same boat. So, I mean, and even if you did buy a long time ago and you want to HODL, it still sucks to be down 70%, you know? Even if you did buy it at $10 or $100 or $500 or $1,000 or whatever. Doesn't matter. Still hurts. So, I don't really subscribe to the HODL method. I think it's better to manage your risk a little bit better than just kind of a hope and pray method. In traditional markets, like a little while ago, you might have heard people talking about hopium a few years back, and how just the market's just going up and up because it's just hopium. Everyone's like, yeah, man. Buy the dips and all that kind of stuff. That came from traditional markets too. That wasn't, that's not some new thing in crypto either, which is also can be dangerous as well. But this is just a really good way to show you, yeah, you buy these altcoins and you think they're really awesome and you're just going to hodl them all the way forever. Well, you should think again about that, because if you lose 5%, yeah, it's not that bad, but look how exponential this is, okay? 10%, you only need about 11, so that's not that bad. 15, you're like, oh, 17, okay. 20, now you need a 25% gain to get back to even. And let's just speed up to 50, or you get to 50, right? And now you have to double up to get back to even, just to get your money back. And that's just your money. What happens when this goes down is your emotional capital will get destroyed. And you will be able, it will be difficult for you to even make trades anymore, especially good ones. And you'll start trading emotionally, and then you have to get yourself out of a totally different rut outside of even to where you can start making money again. Like psychologically, you have to pull out of that trench to be able to apply yourself in a clear manner to actually maybe get some of these losses back. The idea, though, and the point of bringing this up is to not let it get down in this level, right? Now, okay, of course, you can have, maybe you just throw in kind of more of a gamble or a hunch. You just want to kind of go all in with some leverage, maybe, whatever. Yeah, but just don't risk that much. Like, put already what you want to risk. That's kind of different. This is more like across the board. Maybe you put 10 grand in crypto. Across all of that, use it for your entire equity, not just like if you threw $100 on 100x leverage because you just wanted to that one time, but you're like, hey, I'm totally willing to just lose this $100, which is what 99.8% chance of happening. Just maybe for some fun, that's all good and dandy, but look at it in the big picture. So once you get too far down, you don't want to get trapped into this zone where you have to just dig up and also dig out of the psychological and damage and kind of the emotional capital that you will lose. Don't forget, emotional capital is just as important as your actual trading capital. And look how fast this gets really out of hand. This is just so exponential. 70%, now you need 233. All right, let's just jump down to the bottom right here in the 90 percentiles. Do y'all see how big these numbers are right here? 900% gain when you lose 90%. All right, that is rough. That's going to be really hard to come back from. Not doing 900% is not regular. I know people think that it is. It's not. And then that extra little 5% from 90, it goes up to more than double. But it can't go any lower, though, they told me when it sold off 90%. Yes, it can. It can sell off another 90% after 90%. Like, but that's 180%, man. It's like, no, that's not how that works. I'm sure there's somebody that has thought that. Please learn some more before you put some money in there, because that's I hope that's not the case, but something tells me probably. That's how people are. Pretty much anything you can think up, someone's probably done it or tried it or thought it. So, but yeah, 1900%, guys, 95% down. So how many crypto alt bags do you have that are down 95%? I know I have a few. Right? It does not feel good. It does not feel good at all. And maybe they're down 95% from highs, not necessarily all the way down from my, like, where I bought them at. But you know, sometimes when you have those gains and you don't take any off the table, it feels just as bad because that was money you had. You know, just take a little bit off, take some of that profit. It's never a bad thing. Managing winners is actually really important. And also cutting your losses. You should already know, too, when you get into a trade, what you're going to cut it at. And do keep them relatively small. I try to keep them, personally, I try to keep them under 20%. Usually I'm in the 10 to 15% range per like trade. That's kind of like where I like to be in. Because that's very manageable. If I lose that, it only takes 10 in that on that amount that I use to kind of get that back. That's pretty much 1 for 1. I can deal with that. And 15 is where it starts to really grow fast. And of course, once you get over 70, it's just rip your face off. So I hope this puts a little light on, you know, the hodl mentality for maybe when the next run comes around, bull run, you might think differently about how you manage your stuff. And it doesn't mean that you don't support this. Don't let people shake you out or bully you, kind of, or whatever kind of terminology you want to use. Like, this is about preserving your capital and growing it and making money. Okay? It's not about feelings, and it's not about friends or people that say that you're friends that get mad about that, but it's probably just because they have bags too and they want you to help feel the misery with them. All right? So, I hope that helps out. If you have any more questions or anything like that, I'd be happy to answer them. Hit me up, Telegram, or put a comment in here. The Telegram is at No Noiz Chat. All right? Market time. We in it. And if there's any live people out there, if you got any questions or some tickers you want to look at, just put them in the chat, and I will get to them shortly after you put that in there. I will respond shortly after. Again, Z-Rex here. Sub, bell, smash it. It'd be greatly appreciated if you're digging or got anything out of anything I've said so far or any of my other videos. If you got any value out of there. So we've got 213. Also, all my videos, I timestamp them as well. So you can go back and, like, I timestamp the shit out of them. Like sometimes every few minutes, but I love that when I surf YouTube. It's awesome because sometimes I just don't care about a particular thing, and I know most other people have to share that love of timestamps, so they're in there. All right, anyway, back to analysis. Here we are ping-ponging up on the mid 200, like 200 and teens, and the market cap, total market cap, that is with everything. I know some people like to look at just the altcoins separate. I kind of just look at it all together. Just like we've been talking about, guys, we need to get above, whoa, getting a little laggy here. We need to get above that 225 area, which is going to be about right around, oops, sorry, it's going to be right around here. I don't know where these blows are at this bottom and this bottom here. Let me shorten this down a little. I didn't mean to look at it so far. There we go. So here's 250 is up here. We need to get above this guy. We almost did. We're consolidating, but we are starting to make some lower to even lows on descending volume. So that is not a great sign. We do need to see the market pick up really good. The dominance is continuing to grow also on Bitcoin. Keep an eye on that. We have talked about that pretty extensively, what I think about that. Please check out the other videos. Again, they're timestamped. I think there's some good thoughts about, like, just rotation of the cryptocurrency rotation. You know, because this rally has to start with Bitcoin. It's not starting with anything else, period. That's it. So why not put all your money and park it there until it does turn, and then sprinkle out gains from that, peel them off of that, and throw them in, dump them into certain alts while it's kind of going up. I think that's the larger picture. All right, I think that's what the big boys are thinking. But like I said, go look at or listen to those other videos. I talk about that in detail. Let's check out general markets. Kind of flat. There's some red, but it's kind of small red, you know, and a little green, small green too. within like 1% or 2, like across the board in the last day. Nothing too exciting. It was nice to see that momentum. Let's just go ahead and jump into the chart. It was pretty nice to see this momentum here. Now, this is an hourly. On the background, you can see the watermark in case you're like coming late or something, and it's hard to see up here, so put that on there for easy reference. We are still looking okay and holding above the 6,600. The candle on this hourly low, this tail, is literally 6,600 on the dot, like 0.0. If you can see that in the top left, I can't move my cursor, otherwise it'll take it off. But it's right here, where it shows up. Yeah, look at that, 6,600 on the dot. There should be good resistance there. The only problem I have with that resistance is I feel like it's too obvious. I feel like everybody's already looking at that, so I'm kind of going more down into where I have these two alerts, 6,500 and then like low 64s. Because I just kind of feel like 66 is that's too easy. The market does not make it easy ever. Alright. So let's look at it on a daily. We did get that close above 66 that we've been waiting for. Then we actually got another close above that. Kind of some follow through. Let's look at some volume. We're on really low volume right now. Below average. Very, very much below average. You can see right there. So that's not great. DMI looks really good though on the daily. The bears are below the mid-teens, so that means they have lost a little bit of momentum. They are trying to creep back up. If they can stay suppressed under this now that they're below, or even just kind of below excuse me, below the bulls here, that would be a really bullish sign. Alright, so I will be keeping an eye out for that for sure. There's a little trend line that the bulls should be popping up because they cannot lose momentum right now. They need to keep this up. Let's go to a 3-day. Yeah, 3-day is okay. It's not really telling us much. Pretty neutral across the board. Weekly is fairly neutral as well. Pretty much you're only seeing stuff just because we've been going sideways for so long. Pretty much you're only getting stuff on the daily, and you're getting some good stuff on the 4-hour. We have not broke the 70 RSI on the 4-hour, and we are... I'm gonna have to get rid of this yellow line. It's just in the way. The bulls are losing a little bit of strength. Yeah, they need to pick it up stat. If they can't hold this 55 exponential here, this orange one, that's not going to be a great sign. And then, like I said, I have a little bit of extra cushion down here because, again, markets do not make this easy. It bounced right off 6,600. I would almost be shocked if we didn't see a dip to like low 65s before we even continue going back up. I think that would actually be very healthy as well. If we pull a fib off this recent run, 618 is at, oh, it's hard to see. Let me kind of, geez, looks like 64.60. All right, so 64.5. Kind of just round it to that. That'll be some good support, which I have my other stop right below that. So that's what I'm watching. We are getting a little selling pressure as I'm talking right here. Let's see if we bust, go ahead and bust through it right now. Let's just get it out of the way. Everybody's about to get up over across the pond. So that should give that momentum either way here. So keep an eye out for that. We still are, well, since we did break some 66, we do have new targets and support levels. We still have the general ones, the boxes that have been on here forever. Yeah, I know. We'll break them eventually. I know we will, guys. Just patience is really important in trading. Learn that quick. Otherwise, it will cost you money and maybe even discourage you from doing this. Trading in general, not necessarily just Bitcoin. But so again, we've been targeting kind of the mid 7s. Just a tap of this trend line would be great. The longer we go by in time, though, do realize that that comes down and that price will get lower and lower. But that's why I've said too in the last few videos that we need to get some pumping going. And and do this rally to the mid 7s with like in a week or two. So now maybe like one more week. It did do some follow through, like I said, on that daily, but we are getting a little skittish here. But we are still holding. Again, like I pulled this, we are at still above barely the 786 just off this candle body, which coincides with this 21 exponential. 21 exponentials is a really good basic moving average. If you're not familiar, that one might be good just to play with to start, especially if you're new. That was one I definitely started with. That and a 9. I like the 9 EMA as well. The 50 SMA is really solid too for a little bit longer, and of course the 200. Some of those basic ones you're like, well, everybody uses those. Well, yeah, that's kind of why they work too. So it gives you a really good idea of the sentiment. And also conviction points, right? Like trend lines kind of do. You're like, oh, it's coming up again. Oh, everyone get bullish. It's going to break out. I mean, CNBC said it was going to break out like right around here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, if y'all haven't seen that CNBC chart, it's awesome. I'm sure you have. It's been posted everywhere. That dude is killing it. Great job. Kudos to him. A lot of people thought about making a chart like that, but he actually did it. So, well done. Yeah, I think he was like the most viewed guy on TradingView for a little while. I think that thing had like 40,000 views or something on the last time I saw, or 30,000. It was a lot. Anyway, there's Bitcoin. So our new supports again are about 66, obviously, but that one's kind of the obvious one. I don't expect that to hold. I'm more expecting low 6400s, so I'm ratcheting up my stop. It was 62 before. I'm ratcheting that up to 64 as like a oh crap, because we should be able to hold that as we bounced and ping-ponged around 64s right there. I mean, that business is all up in that business, so that should be able to hold now. And really ideally though, I would like to see it stay above 6,500 on a closing basis on a daily. 64 is just kind of like my line in the sand, if you will. All right, Ethereum. Let's check it out. Ooh, Ethereum has been looking weak for a while, although we haven't gotten this yet, guys, until recently, the last day. Since I didn't do the video, I didn't really actually look at markets that much. I kind of took a little life break. It was good though. Everyone should do that. I know it's hard to get away from the charts and trading because it's so fun, but yeah, keep that in mind. It's worth it. So yeah, we got bulls are trying to get up into that neutral battle zone. They're right at it, and bears are literally just about to lose the momentum. So yeah, like I talked about in the video 2 days ago, we are a big ass move is definitely brewing, and it's really hard to kind of pick which side it is. I mean, I know you can never actually really pick that, but you can get things that kind of give you an idea. But I still think we're in that basis where price is really telling us mostly everything. We just, with this lame price action, you know, oscillators are just going to kind of go sideways. So, and that's exactly what they're kind of doing. And here we are, right at this 60. I'm sorry, 60. I got to read the 2 first. 268, 270 floor. That's this box. Let's see if that can hold. And ultimately 250, guys, on Ethereum. It's pretty simple. It hasn't really changed that much. Let's go to Litecoin. The LTC. It's the bear. See, the bears. The bulls tried to get in there twice. The bears have come back below the mid-20s, so they're losing a little bit momentum. So it would be easier for bulls to come in now, but they're not getting up into this mid-teens area at all. They're getting rejected on it. So, and this stupid line already, I don't even know why I drew that. And here's the 21 exponential too. So we have lots of resistance going on. Overall, this is a pretty bearish chart. And we did just cross all the crosses on the exponential moving averages, you know, about a week ago or so. So do be very cautious here. Other than that, there's not really much about this chart. We've just been in this channel. It's kind of been same Same shit, different day, guys. The only thing that's a little better is Bitcoin closed on a daily above 66, but it just like took so long too, and like everybody was waiting for that. It's like less exciting now that it happened. I was like excited, and then I was expecting after it did that the next day to go up to 7K or so, and that would have been a really good sign. But the volume wasn't there. It was just kind of blah. So whatever, that's okay. It happens. Litecoin, kind of in a similar situation. It does look... damn it. It looks like kind of bullish, but not in a longer term sense. Let's look at it, the 850. Yeah, guys, support again. It's still same shit. About 50, that low 50s area. I'd say about 52 for me. I could take 50 for me. We almost got above it, but got rejected. So the bears are definitely in control. But Litecoin was showing on the 850 and on the 4 hour. We just haven't seen it on the daily yet, but it's gotten neutral on the 850, and the bears have lost some pretty good momentum. So that's an okay sign. That might just give us a charge though to come up here and test this mid part of the channel, which is pretty likely, even if before we sell off. You gotta, you know, even when we want to go down, you gotta trick people, especially when we've been going down for like almost the whole summer, really. So, and that's a pretty good move though. If you're not familiar with like the risk reward tool here, it's on the bottom part above the symbols. You can do like kind of a cool little chart to give you a visual, so you don't have to think about it. This is really helpful. And do remember, I like, do whatever you want, but I like at least 2 to 1 risk to reward. I really actually like to get more close to 3. So this sometimes 4 is really awesome. That doesn't set up all the time, but if you're really patient, it does. So on this one, even if you take it down to, let's say, 51 bucks, you can risk about 11, and you can take this up to about the mid part of the channel, and that's about 26. So you are over that 2 to 1. All right, so that would be pretty good. I would probably tighten this up just because this market's a little crazy. If it was me, I'd probably put it at about 5%. All right, and actually that's not quite accurate because this price is right here right now, not at the top of here. I know, splitting hairs, but whatever. There you go. It gives you a little, it's a little different. So yeah, you can do about 7 for 25 to 30%. That's a really good risk to return ratio. Like I said, be patient and you just wait for this kind of setups. Of course, they might not pan out. Like over here, if you look right back to the left, didn't work. It's kind of doing this same upward wedge pattern, if y'all can kind of see that right here. Right, man, now that, I'm sorry, that was bad. So there you go, there's like a wedge, broke out of it. We're kind of making a similar pattern right here. We'll see what happens. All right, keep an eye on it. The rips, let's go to the ripples, to the dollar. Yeah, that's not gonna work. That is definitely not gonna work. There we go. Let's go to the daily and just check price first. Definitely in this little symmetrical triangle. It looked a lot, yeah, I don't know, that's kind of, I need some volume. Let's look at some volume here. Yeah, so volume is kind of tapering, so this is okay. This looks okay. It's probably one of the stronger looking coins. We're bouncing off the 50 retracement if you use the wick. If you use the bodies, it's probably the 6-1. Yep, the 6-1. So that's good. So that hasn't really changed since that last video I did. We're right at, whoops. We're right at still about 30 cents for support. You can see I still have my alert on right over here. This little arrow on the right side. So I got it at 30 cents, a little bit below that. Like I said, I like to go a little farther because those stops, they know that. Just like this 6,600 area, it's just too obvious. Unless it's real damn strong. But, I don't know. So this is a decent spot right here. Risk to reward again. Just, here you go. Putting up a little position. I'm going to put in my paper trade account. There you go. You can kind of go about to that 30 area at 6. I mean, you can target, because I mean, we're already right up against this 21, so you can kind of target the 55, and that would be roughly, that's a pretty good ratio. You got about 3, almost 4 to 1, so that's really nice. Even if you kind of flex this out, you have to keep it above 3 to 1, you can still go all the way down to 25 cents. So that is a really good risk to reward, in my opinion. That's a trade that I will be taking. Let's go to the EOS, because we've been kind of following that one. I should just put that on the regular. Yeah, this 480 area has got a lot of support, a lot of business here. It was also pretty much like the highs of the business when it was first kind of coming out. A lot of business here before it blew out. It got caught here, and now it's getting caught here again. So this 4.5 to 5.5 area has a lot of biz, but we are in this downward sloping channel still, so there's nothing really new. And we are kind of coasting down the center part of it, so we need to kind of break above that and get some momentum going. We are neutral on the daily oscillators. We are also neutral on the 4-hour oscillators. And we are also neutral on the 850. I think I'm trying to like try to do the charts a little faster. Maybe I can go through like quite a few more, and then just make videos to explain how I'm using this and how I can read them so fast and know if it's neutral or has any kind of edge or anything like that. Maybe that might be a better value and like and help. So if you have any comments on that, please feel free to share them. All right, let's go to XLM. Nope, not that way. There we go. Still in this little box that we drew. Nothing fancy. It's literally just been slicing right through all of it, just right in the middle. So keep an eye on that. Neutral on the oscillators. We're between our battle zone here. Oops, I accidentally moved that line. Let me put a line on here. How is there not one on XLM? Alt-H can put horizontals on immediately wherever your crosshair is. If you just, boom, see, it's right there. It's pretty nifty. Alt-V is for a vertical one. Let's go to the 850. Super neutral. Ever since it dumped from that nice run up, it's just been absolutely sideways since August 10th. All right. So for over 2 weeks, we are as neutral as we can be. And that's okay. That means when it breaks out of this range, it's going to move. So that's where that patient comes in. Well, you could keep buying here and trying to, you could do, there's moves to scalp in here. There's 10% in here, a lot, but this also chops people up most of the time. All right, so sometimes just waiting and not trading is the best trade. It's also one of the hardest ones to do or not do. Yeah, I'm not sure which way you want to say that. All right, let's go to regular markets because they will be opening tomorrow evening. Here's the ES. It's looking pretty good. I do think we're getting ready to make a little breakout from our previous all-time high here. The ES is actually just catching up. If you look at the Nasdaq already done broke out of it a bunch of times. It broke it, came back, tested it a bunch, broke out more, came back, tested it again. So let's just kind of see. We do have a fair bit. Let's put it on the daily because, you know, these markets move a little slower. We are having a fair bit of negative divergence, though, and it actually is almost playing... No, okay, so that's not fair. So that's broke. So it's from here. It is playing out very clearly from mid-June, though. And that is showing on DMI all the way through and RSI as well. Still pretty low in volatility up here. So this is a really good spot, I think, for equities to break out before the election and then have a sell-off when something happens. I don't know, whenever they get scared, the house splits. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't really care about the news. The price will tell you first. I remember I called, and a lot of people did. I actually didn't call it. I just read it off, and when the election was happening for Trump, when he won, Everybody was just kind of hanging out over at my house, and we were eating some food, watching it, little presidential party, right? And I was trading the markets, and it was crazy. And at a certain point, before they even announced it, the move happened, and I was like, I told everybody, "Oh, he won." And everyone's like, what the hell? How do you know? What are you talking about? I was like, oh, the markets just told me. I'm like, what? Yeah, so that shit tells you before. The markets know, man. When you got this trillions of dollars floating around, money's good at sniffing out bullshit, but also supporting it. But all of it together in a collective unit, it's pretty good at finding value. Even if it has to leave abruptly to go find the real value. So let's look at the Russell, because it also has broke out. Oops. It's RUT. So you can see here, this is small caps, if you don't know, the Russell 2000 index. You can see here's the previous highs, busted out of them. So everything, the S&P just needs to catch up. You can even see on the Dow Jones. Oh, it needs to catch up more, actually. I didn't know. I don't look at this one a lot. I should. It's like the oldest one. I mean, look at this. You can go back to... I'm going to show you how far you can go back. Look at this, guys. Yeah, you're like, what the hell? You actually need to go on like a monthly. Let's go on a monthly candle. Yeah, look at that. Back to 1915, they have data on TradingView for the Dow Jones. So, yeah, look at this crazy-ass chart. Wowza! That was the roaring 20s here. If you want to know what that gain was, just roughly, it's about 300%. So, that's nothing. Look at this gain right here. From the mid-80s to the dot-com bubble, about 1,200%. What's up? What's up now? What about from here to, it's about 300%. Yeah, about 300. So, yeah, this is nothing. We still got a lot of legs, I think, left in this bull market. Dow 50,000, maybe? Pretty soon? Possibly? I think it's pretty high probability. But yeah, so the Dow needs to catch up too. So I am kind of thinking of getting a little bit long here in equities this weekend, depending on how Monday operates. Here's gold, finally getting some love. It just got mollywopped. It's bouncing. Now we are getting up here on the middle term moving average. So that should provide for some resistance. That also lines up with all this business done here at 12. So we'll see if it can get over that. Gold has been looking really bad. I actually think gold's going to have some downside. Some pretty serious downside here soon. Actually, let's look at gold on a longer term chart. If you look at GC1 exclamation point, that is the continuous futures contract for gold, and it gives you pretty good data all the way back to when the futures contract was created in the mid 70s. So if we look here, gold had a decent rally, but see, this is where I kind of think gold is kind of heading. It's kind of making this pattern right here, right after the big dump when it blew up, and now we're kind of making this little basing pattern. Kind of just keep this in mind, and I'm going to scroll to the right. See how that kind of looks pretty similar. So I kind of think we're doing something like that. I do think an ultimate bottom for gold is about $700 to $800. That would be lovely. All right, final thoughts, guys, with BTC. If you're out there, ask some questions, please. I would love that. It'd be awesome. That is why I am going to do these live and to continue. Oh, there it is during the stream. 66 is broke. Yeah, it's just kind of too obvious. I know everyone would think that, but if everyone's kind of thinking that, you have to go a little outside of the box. I talk about that in a lot of my other streams. Please go check them out. Listen to them. Again, they're time-stamped for easy viewing and quick viewing. You can also speed it up. I know I listen to a lot of YouTubers on 1.25, sometimes 1.5, depending on how fast they talk. So we are breaking that. That is not surprising. I literally just said that 15, 20, 30 minutes, like when I started the stream here. So here we go. Let's get to where let's get kind of to this area here and bounce off of 65. I would love a nice hard bounce off of like low 65s area. That would be a good setup for some pumping to happen. And maybe with final thoughts, we'll add in the shorts versus longs kind of chart. Oh, the shorts are, they're going down a little bit. Oh man, they're breaking down, but not that much relative to these liquidation little sell-offs. So, and they're still up here by highs, so be careful there. They could easily blow out and get some more shorts, like blow to the upside, by the way. Longs kind of longly gagging around, nothing too cool. Back to just BTC's chart. Again, here we are. Let's see if we can get caught on these moving averages. That would actually be really awesome too. That would be good, great support. And on the 4 hour, we're, like I said, low 6500s. All right, guys, y'all know the drill. Y'all know where we're looking at, what we're watching. It's good that 66 got broke, but let's not just destroy it with another engulfing candle like this. If we do that again, Jesus Christ, I don't even know. Like, I want to say it would be bearish, but like, they just be messing with people right now. The market, it's not really they. I don't really believe in manipulation, but everybody's just super confused right now, and the charts are showing it. So all right, guys, keep an eye on those levels, about 64-ish, 65-ish in there. We should bounce from there if this is going to be healthy. Closing below 64 on a daily is bearish for me, and now we need to close above 69 on a daily to get extra bullish. All right, guys, this is Z-Rex signing off. Oh, wind moon right now. Now, Austin, it's happening. I'm going to the moon tomorrow. No, the moon, I actually think, my honest opinion is probably, I think there is a pretty good chance it could happen at the end of this year. Maybe not 20K, but like a really good rally. But definitely the end of next year seems very ripe. With Backed coming out in November. There's already a lot of stuff in November and October that's looking pretty damn nice. So I'm really curious to this, to get the fall season out of the way and see what winter brings us. Because since 2012, actually, if you're still out there, Mr. Austin, I believe you are, I'll show you a Bitstamp chart that I have that I made a while ago. Let's see here. Here it has all the annual performance since 2012, because the data before that's really lame and sparse, and it doesn't, like, no one really traded it, so it doesn't really give you that much info. I know it's kind of a messy chart. I kind of do a lot of my testing and a deeper analysis on here, so I kind of just leave it gnarly. But anyway, yeah, you can see almost every year it's done really good except for 14, since 12. But really what I wanted to show you this chart is the green boxes here are wintertime. So I measured the complete fourth quarter. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, please. I don't know anything about that SEO stuff, man. That would be great if y'all could help me do that. Yeah, because Telegram's being mean right now. They're like, I get added to all these damn spam groups. Like, the other day I got added to 10, and it was the same day that they suspended me because I was posting links in public chat groups, and they were like, oh, you're suspended. And then, like, that day I get spammed into, like, 10 different rooms. I'm like, what the hell? But anyway, these green boxes, though, every single one of them, except I think it was only 1 year, I believe, the 2014 year. Yeah, here it is right here. Or right here, the orange one. I made it orange because it was the only time that we went down in the winter. And granted, it was brutal, though. It was a 64 almost % crash, but that was it. That was the bottom. So I'm kind of this year will definitely tell us how much longer we have to wait, but I do think this could be just 2013, and we're about to have another, like, here's 2013. See, rally hard, sell off about 80%, and then by the end of the year go up another, you know, 500%, right? So in just 2013 alone, as you can see, was 3,900%, man. Crazy. It would baffle me if we didn't have a year that it didn't beat this. Because there was like no one really playing in here. But people might be like, oh man, but that was Mt. Gox, dude. It was fake volume. Eh, maybe. Maybe not. We don't have to think about that too much. But yeah, Austin, that'd be great if you want to hit me up. Hell, we can even meet outside of any meetups or whatever. You can just telegram me or whatever and get my phone number. I think my phone number's on there too, so. But yeah, so let's see what happens after the fall's out of the way. Like right here is 2013. We already started running up kind of hard latter part of the summer. We're not really getting that right now, so it is kind of looking more a little 14-ish. But fractals rhyme. It's like history. They do not just repeat themselves. All right, guys. With that said, I'll see you later. Hit me up, Austin. Y'all take care. Z-Rex is actually signing off this time. Y'all have an awesome rest of your Saturday night. Or maybe Sunday morning, depending where you're at. All right, guys. Take care. Peace.